Hello. This video is for anybody who wants to know more about the graphing calculator. Now, I happen to have here the TI-84 Silver Edition, but you could have the 83, you could have the 83 Plus, or another version of this particular type of calculator, but they all generally follow this plan. Now, if I turn this on, I'm showing a graph at the top, so we have this screen right here, and you are able to look into functions graphed algebraically. That's the namesake of the calculator, the graphing calculator. But you may have a new version that has a screen that lights up, which is really neat. And you may have a new version that shows fractions and so forth, the way fractions are normally written. And that is the new operating system, and that's fine as well. But you will get out of this video an introduction to the calculator, and that's a very valuable thing, because I know you spend a lot of valuable hard-earned money getting the calculator. Now, without further ado, just to let you know, I'm going to talk about these buttons down here. I'll talk about these buttons. I'll talk about these buttons, and I'll just sort of go through here, okay? Then when we get close to the top, I'll start referring to the graphing buttons here. So there's 5 buttons at the top, and by the time we're done, you're not going to know everything about the calculator, but you have a good introduction, and that will help you. So without any further ado, here we go. The first thing I need to do is just hit clear to get out of my graph screen. And let's see, let me zoom in a little bit here. Okay. Now, this is our home screen. It's so many squares long and so many squares down this way. And we'll just call this spot right here my blinking cursor. So when I talk about the home screen, this is the screen that I'm talking about. Now, we want to use the number pad down here. So I'm going to just type 2 plus 3 left parenthesis 4 minus 6 right parenthesis squared. Now, what's going to happen is when you hit enter, it's going to do this numerical expression, and of course it's going to follow the order of operations. So wouldn't that be negative 2 squared is 4, 4 times 3 is 12, it should be 14. Okay, so now I'm going to hit enter. So on the left side, those are my entries. On the right side, that is my computation. Okay? Now you could have your calculator round for you if you want to, but just leave that 14 right there right now. Alright, so this is your numeric pad. Here's your decimal point. Like for example, 2.14 times 5.83. Okay? I hit enter, okay? Some people say mash enter, okay? So this makes sense here. There are 4 decimal points here because there's 2 there and 2 there. And 2 times 5 is 10, so it's going to be greater than 10. So this is your window into your numerical world. And here are your passports, okay, into that world. You have all of these keys down here at the bottom. Now, if I want to do 3 times a negative 2, notice I'm using this key down here at the bottom. And that should give me negative 6, correct? Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to go over here to the right side. And let's just type something in here. 3 plus 2 minus 6 times 9 divided by 9. Now notice the division is a slant character, okay? So keep that in mind. And what we're doing is we're going to hit enter, and it's going to give us that value. Now let's just say, for instance, you wanted to go back in time and you wanted to look at some previous things you put on your calculator. Okay, so here's my other finger here, and here's my right finger. I'm looking for entry. Entry is in the color blue, okay? So I'm going to go second blah, second blah, second blah, second blah, and notice I can go back in the past. Now some of your calculators, I believe they'll let you go up this way, okay, which is fine too. Now what if I want to clear the whole screen? To clear the whole screen, I just hit clear. I may have to hit it twice, and in my case I messed up, so I'm just gonna hit enter and hit clear twice. That normally gets rid of your screen. We talked about the number keys. We talked about the gray operation keys. And don't forget, this is your equal or your enter. Alright, there's one key down here at the bottom that may be helpful. It's the answer key. Well, I'm pointing to the negative sign. I know, but answer is right above that. We could zoom in if you want to. But let's just say you did a computation. 5 squared divided by 9 squared. And that was a very important number to you. And you want to take that number and multiply it by, let's say, pi. Well, how am I going to do that? Well, I could find my pi right here. It's in blue. Second pi times. Now, I could sit here and try to, look up my number and copy the digits. I could do that if I want to. But if you will just hit answer, I call that second answer or just answer, that feature, your calculator, remembers that number and you could use it to compute. And that is a very, very handy feature of the calculator. Now watch what I do here. I hit clear and it cleared my home screen. Alright, so that's really all I want to talk about on these right now. Now what I want to do is go over here to the left. I am noticing this key, my on and off, so you can turn your calculator off. Your calculator does have these batteries it operates from, and of course look, these aren't the greatest batteries, but they're working just fine. Now in here is another battery that is used to keep items in your memory or your calculator. So my advice is, whenever you get a warning for your batteries being low, please replace these, because you really don't want to drain that battery. That could be a dangerous situation. Alright, pretty easy. Now let's continue our tour here through the calculator. Let's see. We talked about this key, the on and off. Okay, to turn your calculator off. Second on. Second on. There you go. Turn it on. This key is used to store and retrieve values. So I'm not going to talk about that now. This key is Ln key. Now that's not the name of a of a female student. Ln is the natural log, and the natural base 2.71828 blah blah blah. That is a very important number in mathematics and science. So we'll go back to that key if we need to later. Right above the key is a key you got to make sure you don't get any splinters on. Okay, it's called the log key. Now log. Let's look at this for a second. If I hit log of 10, notice what I get. If I hit log of 100, notice what I get. What if I hit log of 1,000? What will that get? Or how about log of 0.001? That's like James Bond, 007, but it's like his son. Okay, so -3. Really, what's going on here in this calculator? What's going on is log is just simply what power of 10. So what power of 10 is 1,000? That's 3. It's 10 to the third. That's all logarithms are. So if you hit log, don't get a splinter, of 50, okay, you're going to get 1.69. What does that mean? That means 10 to the what? Oh, to the answer, right, is going to be close to 50. Isn't that neat? Now, if you just did 10 to the 1.69, it's not going to give you exactly that. Let me show that. Notice right above the log, so second log, okay, if I put 1.69, again, I'm going to get close to 50, but I'm not going to get exact. So one of the important things of any calculator is you having a sense of the numbers. And what happens because of all of this accuracy, we think all of these numbers over here are so important, we actually lose sense of the numbers. And that makes sense, doesn't it? All right, so we're right here. Okay, there's our log. Now, we took care of these keys. Let's go and talk about this row of keys right here. Whenever I want to square something, I just hit 3 squared. Isn't that neat? And then hit enter. That's very interesting. Okay. All right, how about 5.2 squared? Okay. All right. Now, this key right here is a comma, and sometimes you need commas. We're not going to use it in our video, but you're going to use that later. Okay. You could always come back to me if you have a comma or a comment. Okay. So that's the comma. Again, that is used, so that key is available for you. Now these two keys are very, very important keys. So let's just do this. 8 left parenthesis 2 plus 3 right parenthesis equal or enter. Well, what's it going to do? It's going to do what's inside the grouping symbols or parentheses first. So here you are, you have 2 plus 3 right here is 5. So 5 plus, times 8 is 40, right? Everybody knows your times table. Okay, so there you go. Now parentheses could be a little complicated. 2 left parenthesis, 1 left parenthesis, plus 3 right parenthesis. I just messed up there. Delete. Left parenthesis, 3 plus 2 right parenthesis, right parenthesis. Now, it would be nice if we could use brackets here, but the calculator does not use that, so we shouldn't cry over it, okay? It's going to do this operation first, which is 5, then it's going to add 1 and have 6, and times it by 2, which would be 12. Okay, well, everybody knows that. All right, so let's make it a little complicated. Notice how I used the key to go back into a numerical expression. Now what is it going to do? It's going to do 3 times 2, which is 6, add 1 is 7, times 2 is 14. That makes sense? Okay. So we're talking about these keys right here. Here's your division, okay? And if you ever need to know E, you could do second E, right? That's a special number in mathematics. And here's pi, second pi, okay? That's another special number in mathematics. And if you want to, you could have your pi in E it too. So a little humor there. All right, so what I want to do now is I want to, we work through these keys. There's one key or feature above the x squared that you need to know about, and that is the square root. So let's say I wanted the square root of 16. Now your calculator may not show that. It just may have the square root sign, left parenthesis, and you plug in your 16. I urge you strongly to close your parentheses so that you could have that compute clearly and you can see it clearly. You have to see what you're doing in math and understand what you're doing in math all at the same time. Okay, second EE, that is used for scientific notation. And these two keys right here are not brackets, they are braces. And they are used for lists, which we will not talk about in this video. So clear, 2 times, and that's it. So for this part 1 of our calculator introduction here, this is where we're going to leave off, and we'll pick it up again on part 2. Thank you.